Hey everyone, welcome to Zealots. I'm Forrest.
Hello there. I'm Major.
I'm Robbie.
I forgot the order, but I think it's my turn. I'm Matt.
And I am always last. Just the tip.
So, today we got a great episode for you guys. We're going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the finale. We're going to talk about Miss Marvel, and we're going to talk about Hero-gasm from the boys. So let's go get started with Obi-Wan. Major, you said you had some notes, or just for the boys?
First off, just wanted to get some overall thoughts and opinions before we kind of briefly go through the episode. I hit up all the highlights, and I get your opinions and thoughts about what you guys thought about the bullshit that we saw. I mean, it's not all bullshit. Stick around, you'll see the whole opinion. And thanks for listening. We appreciate it. And hello there to everyone. What a crazy ride it has been on. Matt, you are probably, would you say, the most avid Star Wars fan of the lot? Probably the most aged. Yeah. So what do you think? I'd like to get your thoughts, especially because someone's been absent. Being a father, someone's been absent from the podcast because they were being a father. Ironic. You should have been.
How long has it been, Matt?
It's been a few months. I think I've been on one podcast in the last 4 or 5 months.
Matt,
yeah, we've missed
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be throwing in a ton of Obi-Wan quotes the entire podcast, so stick around. Matt, thoughts?
We're sure you missed the entire Moon Knight saga, but we're glad that you're back. So yeah, please go ahead and give us your thoughts on Kenobi.
If I can say one word, frustrating. There are parts of it that I love, but in the end, my kind of one sentence is that it was unnecessarily done to convolute the whole backstory of this character, or these characters.
Okay, so you didn't like the format? Like it should have been a movie, or they shouldn't have told the story at all? Or the story was good, but poorly told.
So I love the actual, story. I love how every episode reflected an episode of the movies. The issue I take with it is that Star Wars is so, like, the expanded universe is so insanely big, and there's characters, like, I love the Inquisitors, love their backstory, but the fact that this ties around Obi-Wan, Leia, and Anakin, Darth Vader,
right?
Like, I hate this idea that we have to tell everybody's backstory. We have to tell why they got here. And I think leaving that up to the imagination or fans to come up with theories is so much better than doing this, because now you've created so many more questions about, Leia knew Obi-Wan, but technically Obi-Wan isn't seen by Leia in A New Hope, so does it really retcon their relationship? It just creates this unnecessary, convoluted thought that we didn't really need. They could have told this story. They could have had Obi-Wan saving somebody else, or they could have
fun. That's a fun plug for what we're gonna do at the end of this. I, for the first time ever, in my furious rage, spent about 20 minutes writing a brief, I don't know if you want to call it fan fiction, but a 6-episode synopsis of what I would have done with Obi-Wan. You can tell me if it's better or not.
This felt like a very expensive and high production value fan fiction to me. This show did not seem justified its own existence.
This felt like there's a solid 2-hour movie somewhere in this 6-hour television show.
Yeah, there's an actual. I will say that this last episode, this finale, was, at least the Vader and Obi-Wan portion, was entertaining. But like I said, just felt kind of pointless because, again, he's just going to leave Anakin to die.
No, if anything, this might
with some limbs intact, but
this might besmirch the Obi-Wan reputation. The question of fault comes in the question now. If he didn't kill if he killed Vader, maybe Alderaan would still be a planet. But anyway, Matt, let's get back to you. What was your favorite part of the series?
I really enjoyed, because I love Rebels and I love Clone Wars, I really enjoyed the infighting amongst the Inquisitors.
Yes.
And how Vader has purposely set them against each other so that way he can stay in power. I love the politics behind that, and I love just seeing them at the same time too. I have to say the visuals, like Disney really went all out with the effects. The visuals, except for one or two particular scenes, were phenomenal. That scene where Vader is like pulling down the one ship, and it turns out it's not even the right ship. That's straight out of Force Unleashed, the Xbox game. I love the fan service that they did, but yeah.
So I wonder if that was on
my
some
favorite
kind of
part, too.
autopilot, or was it they could just say a droid was flying or something?
Yeah.
Droids are
Well, we've
expendable.
established we've established in the sequels that you only need one pilot to start, to have a battle class starship. Even though if you look at Rogue One, you need 3 to be a skeleton crew, but a droid could easily fly it now. So there's a little retconning there.
And this was before
Disney's
droids
take.
had rights.
Yeah,
I think in the
we did
timeline.
see an R2 unit scurrying around in that hangar cave.
Yeah. So Matt, you mentioned the Inquisitors. They didn't really have a purpose this last episode. I don't even think we saw the guy with the Raiden hat or the other female.
So do you guys
Inquisitor
wanna break
who's
down-
Completely forgettable.
You guys want to go
Well,
through this last episode?
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right, let's start off. You talked about, Matt, some of the visuals. Can we talk about the ship, the rebel ship, evacuating, flying away from the Imperial Star Cruiser, whatever level ship? Did the rebel ship look like it was on wires? Like the way it was like floating up and down and like doing evasive maneuvering? It looked
that's
ridiculous.
Go back to like that scene in particular, or when they're attacking the base and the glass breaks and the water rushes in. Like there were times where it looked like they ran out of money for the budget. But overall, I think the visuals were very stunning, and the costume work was on point.
Okay,
So,
let me
but
ask
yeah,
you this.
there were one or two times. But
Matt,
also, why did I know they had to they mentioned it still, but you have the princess. Why not go straight to Alderaan? Just saying.
Was
Well,
anyone
I mean,
freaked
that's-
out?
No, that's
when,
wrong. That's
Obi-Wan
classist.
said-
What about all the other people? They weren't going to Alderaan, unless that'd be a great place for a refugee camp. In that case, why aren't they going to Alderaan?
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure Bail Organa will find them a place brand new homes on Alderaan.
apparently she had a connecting flight to Alderaan whenever they landed to wherever else they were going. So
They
she
needed
had to go
more
through-
plot.
She'd go through customs.
Why did
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan leave his ship to go distract Vader? Why didn't Vader leave his ship to go pursue Obi-Wan?
I was
Why
like-
they have to redirect the whole cruise ship to follow one
That's
person?
true. They got
literally-
ships
They
in there.
literally have like hundreds, if not dozens, of cargo ships that are capable of keeping up with a crappy freighter like that.
And then
So,
later,
they show
Inquisitor-
off
no,
the
no, no,
hangar
no,
all
no.
the
Inquisitor
time.
should have been like, oh, okay, you can go after the Jedi. I'm gonna go after the actual. I'm gonna go after the
Right.
the Path people.
I got one better for you. When they escape the fortress in the A-wings, and she destroys one. When they first came in, they showed all the bays of TIE fighters. Why not just send those TIE fighters out to shoot an A-wing? The TIE fighters are going to be able to outrun an A-wing.
Look, the Imperial theme song shouldn't be dun dun dun. It should be dum 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 dum
dum
dum
dum dum dum dum dum. We are the Imperial Force.
Blinded by pride.
Anyway,
Okay. Let me ask
And
you
why
this.
why can the giant ship not hit that little tiny ship? It has a million
Why-
guns.
It has a million guns. Why are you shooting one gun, one bullet per second? Right?
Just pew,
It reminds
pew,
me
pew,
of
pew, pew.
Blue
It's
Harvest.
like a big ass stormtrooper, dude.
It reminds me of Blue Harvest when they're
Stormtroopers are controlling the turrets, so
No, it is hitting the starship. They have shields, and that's
Yeah,
why they say
every once in a
put
while it
everything to
hits,
back
but-
shields. But it does hit. It's destroying the shields first.
Do you guys think Roken is going to get his own spinoff now? I like the Disney business model. I think, in theory, it's a really great idea. You have interesting writing, interesting IP, and then you introduce new interesting IP in that first series, and you spin it off. And you can, if the writing and the characters you introduce are interesting and compelling enough, in theory, you can do this an infinite amount of times. But like, I don't care enough about Roken that I want to see a Roken spinoff. I might want to see a Reva spinoff, but like,
that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's gonna have. Do you think? How about this? Let
she's-
me ask this, and Matt, I definitely want to get your opinion. If I know this might be sacrilege, and if you think it is, if this is blasphemy, please tweet at us at Roots Research _ is my other podcast at Zealot, Zealot podcast. Tweet at us if you think this is blasphemy. But what do you think about adopting the Dr. Aphra storyline for Reva?
I'm pretty sure people are gonna want a Dr. Aphra, like actually have a Dr. Aphra in the Dr. Aphra show. Not
But
have
like
Reva
their
as a
storylines are so
stand-in.
similar. They used to work for Vader. They betrayed Vader. Blah blah blah. Like I don't want to spend like another first season. I want to spend like another 6 episodes getting to learn another character that's so similar to this other one.
Disney's gonna do everything they can to keep Hayden Christensen on as Vader. So they're probably gonna create a Dr. Aphra series just to bring Hayden Christensen back as Vader. What did y'all think of the B story, which was Reva going after Luke, sort of?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That was,
What was
I
the point?
literally just wanted to fast forward through those parts to watch the
Like
Kenobi
was
Vader
she?
fight.
She was just so angry at Luke that she knew some random person. Owen had some random kid, and somehow this kid was important to Vader. Is that
Well,
what's happening here?
Didn't Bale like spill the beans?
Yeah,
in
here's
the
my
last
thing.
episode?
Look, Bale
No,
sent a
Bale-
message, and he never showed up. He was like, "Look, if I don't hear from you, I'm gonna go there myself to go talk to Owen about the kids on Tatooine. Me, Bail Organa." And then he never fucking showed up, so he caused all that problem, and he never even showed up on
I
Tatooine.
remember.
Like I was waiting
Let me
for
name
him.
out our entire plan.
Yeah, like dude, learn a secret code or something.
Or at least
Yeah.
be vague about it. That
thank
you
goodness
just
they didn't, like,
know they
mention-
understand.
Yeah, so thank goodness he didn't mention that Leia and Luke were brother sister. I think that's like the only thing he didn't spill. He probably
Right.
probably would have given like social security number if he stayed on that recording any longer.
The whole time just giving out like his mother's maiden name and his first
He's
pet.
listed all his greatest fears, and
Hey Matt, can I
health
ask you a
problems.
question?
Yo.
Have you come to kill me, Obi-Wan?
Oh my god.
I will
Like,
do what I must. Then you will die. Is this amazing dialogue or the worst dialogue of all time?
Well,
I
it's
want
sort of like
everyone's
you're
thoughts.
like, first of all, like you came to him, Vader. Like you should have said it would have been if you just said like, have you come to this planet to die? That would have made more sense. Not have you come to kill me? That makes no sense because like Vader, you came to kill him.
Yeah, you went to him, buddy. Like he was on the planet first.
He should just said, "Have you come here to die?" That would have made perfect. Yeah, that would have made perfect sense. I mean, not perfect sense, but
I
would have
think
made more
since-
sense.
Episode 3, Hayden Christensen has been screwed by very poor character writing.
The whole cast has. Like Ewan McGregor, amazing acting, just ham-fisted by terrible writing.
True.
But what did you guys think about the choreography? What about this first
Not his
lightsaber
whole
duel?
Star Wars
It
career.
was good.
Part
It
one.
wasn't too over the top like in Revenge of the Sith, but it was definitely better than
When
what we
there's
saw in A New
lots
Hope.
of backflips.
And like just two old guys, just like
Yeah, they're
barely fighting each other,
they've all
LARPing at
stopped
each
doing
other.
backflips.
Yeah, it's like they took it down the backflips again. Although seeing Vader doing a backflip would be very weird to me.
Especially
Doesn't
at
he
this
do
age.
it in like Fallen Jedi, or what was the last video game with Cal Kestis? They're also going to give a TV show to?
Knights of the Fallen Order?
Fallen Order. I think Fallen Order is what it was called. But anyway,
He definitely should do a backflip. That'd be awesome.
in that armor,
Oh, and
it's been very impressive.
Yeah.
So, do you think that Vader got to choose his voice that's in his suit? Because his real voice is totally
Voice
different.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
great
it's
point,
all
Robbie.
about like not
It's a
pissing off
voice
the old
modulator.
fans. Yeah,
Because
it's like,
his voice is not like that at all when his helmet got knocked off.
doesn't explain it. It's just like we can't not have James Earl Jones voice Vader, so we
You know, it's
have to.
They
Have,
can't go with he's older because he's doing the voice already.
they really bent over backwards to include Hayden Christensen in this show.
Yeah, they really
like,
did.
They did
And
not
yet,
need him.
It's just
Not
makes
include him
it's
in
just
the
the Vader.
story.
I mean,
everyone knows.
I don't hate the guy, but it was just like, the flashback where he's way too old to be a Padawan, him getting the helmet cut off to where he's speaking in his normal voice, but he's not James Earl Jones to I mean, at least
They
like
kind
the
of
scene,
mixed it together at points.
I mean,
like
at least
the
the
mixing.
scene where like what Reva sees him in the hood. I mean, that was fine, but like the other instances where he was in the show. And I guess maybe in the back to tank. But they.
But no, besides that, like here's my thing.
Got that
Going
contract.
forward, like, there's no reason for Hayden Christensen to be there when it's Vader in the suit, and there's no reason for Vader not to be in the suit at this point in the story in the series.
Yeah, I mean,
Other
the back to
than
tank.
his agent was really good.
However, my pitch actually fixes this, so I'm excited to kind of get into it. What did you guys think when the Obi-Wan gets covered in rocks? Is Vader's suit just a giant design flaw? Like, I've always, like, first off, like, you saw in, like, episode 3 or whatever, it's, like, pitch black, you can't see Vader, and then you just see these stupid Christmas ornaments, like, lighting up. That totally gives away his position, right? Like, I guess Vader has no reason to be sneaky, but if he wanted to be sneaky, he couldn't, because those LED lights are so bright. And then, that's in charge of his breathing. Don't you think you should put that in a more secure location?
Well,
right on his chest.
Well, no one get close to him because he uses the Force.
Well,
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Obi-Wan, I'd like to.
First of all,
I can
the
point
Force
to an
is
episode and
major.
disagree with
The
you.
Force is major plot armor for anything Star Wars. Like,
Anything
how come he didn't get killed?
but a
How come they didn't
parsec.
shoot him in this scene? The Force. How
The
come
Force.
this-
Like
the
whisper
Force?
through a blast door.
Here's
Why
a
is
fan
Bale an
theory for
idiot?
you.
The Force.
I think Owen Lars is an ex-stormtrooper because his aim is terrible,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well, I just remember. I
he
just remember
misread
skipping
it
ahead. But
completely.
remember at the end where like Obi-Wan was like, protect him. Oh, and even though he did a crappy job earlier, or keep him safe. He's like, yeah, I already failed that Obi-Wan. Maybe he should stay with you.
Well, you know what? He hasn't turned into Darth Vader yet, or gone to
He's
the
not
dark
even-
side. So
he's
you're
not
still
even my
doing better
blood-
than me.
He's not even my blood relative, so you can just take him off my hands. Anyway, but I'm glad that Uncle Owen and Aunt Beirut, is that right?
Yeah, Beirut.
We got to see more of them, and like they were barely in the first Star Wars movie where they're old.
Yeah,
but,
Aunt Beirut's a
Pretty
badass.
sure they just died in the first.
yeah,
Star
Aunt
Wars
Beirut
movie.
had
well,
she had
basically,
one
Uncle
line.
Owen's just like, no, you can't go to pilot school. I need you on the moisture farm, and Beirut was just like, he's too much like his father. And then like,
What
next
was her
scene,
line?
dead.
Her line was just like, Luke, go talk
Basically.
to Uncle Owen. Like, that was like her one line or whatever.
Well, no,
So it
no,
was
no.
cool
I
they
think
made
like
her
they're
a
having
badass
dinner. They were
now.
drinking the blue milk, and like Luke was like, gets mad because he can't go to pilot school, and his mom or like his Aunt Beirut was just like, well, he has too much of his father in him. That's why. So she had like a few lines.
Okay,
But,
okay.
I
Well, now she's got a few guns.
That's true. Well, I'm glad they didn't have a whole lot of character. I really wish they gave Owen and Beirut more time in the series than like the first and last episode, because they would have been way more interesting than just some of the other stuff we saw in this show.
Matt, when you're talking about ham fisting, how about having to knock Luke out so he doesn't ever see a lightsaber? Because in A New Hope, he's never seen a lightsaber before. Right?
Well-
like, I just feel like they purposely wrote themselves into these hard situations to try to creatively write themselves out of it, but they just did a terrible job writing themselves
Well,
out
I thought
of
he
it.
was knocked out when
Well, yeah,
she
he
snuck
was.
up on him. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but like,
Oh, okay.
that I'm saying, like, they had to knock him out because she was going to use her lightsaber, and he's never seen a lightsaber before, so there's nothing else to do but knock him out.
Oh, okay.
And like,
Yeah.
what were you gonna do? Kill him? We know he's fucking Luke Skywalker. He's not going anywhere unless.
That's
oh my
true.
gosh!
There
what
were-
would you say? No, stop. Would you applaud? I would applaud the fuck out of Disney if they killed Luke Skywalker right there on the spot. And next season was about Luke, tall Luke, the clone of Luke. Like,
Oh,
if it
no.
turns out, like, if they just destroyed the canon.
I was thinking
And
you
then
meant
they-
something like Inglourious Bastards, where they just like do like where they kill Hitler, even though that's not what really happened. But they just to mess with like this
No,
is a new
I'm saying
timeline.
like they kill Luke and then like they like somehow he gets cloned and then replaced in this backstory that they've got like 20
Like
years
Venture
to mess
Brothers?
around,
Oh, wait, never
to
got
it.
mess
Dude,
around with the canon.
Clones
just-
don't
you
have
just-
force powers.
You literally just explained the plot of Venture Brothers, Mage. So
Oh
good
no,
job.
don't spoil it. I was
Sorry.
on season 1 and I was gonna finish it one day, I promise.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. So, what else happened?
see.
It was just, I
Wait
really
a second,
just, like,
Matt,
the
did you just say that clones can't have force powers?
Which is why Bad Batch had Omega. But yeah, for the most part, at this point, in time. Clones.
Okay.
Don't
At
have
this
force
point, I was going to have to ask you. We were going to have to start talking about Snoke. I had so many questions, but
Snoke?
at this point, the cloning process hasn't gotten to the point where Palpatine can successfully force clone or clone a Force being. Okay, that makes sense.
Snoop, the site where you get and check facts? You
That's
mean
Snoops. Snoop.
Snoops? Oh, well.
Oh, did I say
Anyway.
Snoop? I meant Snoke. Or did I? I don't know his name. I only watched episode 8 once. How many times does my childhood need to die?
Well, we got to discuss the two big cameos in this this series. Let's see, Emperor Palpitating Heart, and
And Qui-Gon. Yeah,
Liam
let's tack.
and Ra's al Ghul. Yeah.
Palpitating heart.
What? Well, so
Throwback.
Emperor Palpatine, that was cool. I like that, and that makes sense. Like you gotta explain in continuity why Vader doesn't just keep pursuing Obi-Wan since he clearly hates Obi-Wan so much.
I mean, I
So
knew.
that
I think
makes
I knew
sense.
Liam Neeson was probably going to be in it, but I think I was like taken aback. I mean, I wasn't like surprised. I was like, "Oh, there's the Emperor." I mean,
Yeah,
Jimmy
I
German's
figured.
still alive, so
I mean, like
I
you
didn't
can't trust
figure he would be in
celebrities. He's like,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson said he wasn't in it, so I mean, of course he was. But like, here's my thing: Wasted. This was dumb. Unless season 2 is going to be a buddy cop series or whatever with Ewan McGregor and Force Ghost Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon
no,
Jinn.
season
What
2.
was the
So-
what was the whole point of adding Qui-Gon? That was pointless fan service.
Because I guess it was a teaser season 2, but it's like, is there going to be like a rematch between Vader and Kenobi? You know, I mean, I don't know where they could go next. I mean, this
I
shouldn't
do.
even
They can
exist.
take my pitch if they want to.
But I mean, I guess that was the only reason. I mean, well, first it was just payoff from Revenge of the Sith, where he said like, Yoda told him you need to go commune at Tatooine
Right.
for your training, and like he was like Master Qui-Gon. So that's when Liam Neeson should have come back as a Force Ghost at the end of that movie. But I guess they didn't. It was like a weird thing to bring up in Revenge of the Sith, but you're going to bring up Qui-Gon, but not going to show him.
It'd be
so-
really funny is if you someone on YouTube edited like all the Order 66 montage videos, clips
Yeah.
of like Anakin killing all the kids during Order 66, and it's just got like a sassy Force Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn like shaking his head and doing like a face palm or whatever he does. That'd be great. It's just like,
Dude, what if like without even telling anybody, Disney decided to just suddenly totally change the timeline without saying anything?
Yeah, that's what we said. Like when they just killed Luke. If they just killed
Yeah.
yeah, just
Luke,
do it. Why not?
You can't complain about continuity anymore because this is a new timeline, like in Star Trek.
Like, oh my gosh. Like, the only way to unite people is to give them a common enemy. And I tell you right now, Star Wars
Watchmen.
fans would shut up about Moses Ingram or how good episode 8 is versus how terrible episode 8 is, right? And the whole fandom would just unite like it was Kathleen Kennedy killed Luke Skywalker herself.
Yeah, that would definitely unite everyone. Well, I mean, I think we went over all the major beats in this show. Any final thoughts? Do you think there's gonna be season 2?
It's I mean,
No, they're going
I
to go
didn't
on to
think
Leia.
so. Gosh, no. She was great.
Yeah, I heard Millie Bobby Brown might do a Star Wars TV show. So I wonder if they're gonna do a Leia show starring her.
All right, I'm back in. I'm back in.
100%, dude.
She can't use the Force, otherwise it's Stranger Things.
The second,
Star-
the second
plus it's canon
Star Wars
breaking.
rolled credits, I was like, Leia will be next.
Probably. I mean,
And
they're
if not
gonna
next, then maybe next to next.
Wait, isn't there like a fan theory that like Star Wars is just like a dream that Indiana Jones is having when he got knocked out or whatever? You guys know
that'd
that fan
that'd be
theory?
funny. I'd watch that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you wanna hear some fan fiction? You wanna hear my elevator pitch for how I would have done this series?
How's
Do it.
that?
Yes, we want to hear this.
Let me know what you think. And again, tweet me what you think. And this isn't great, right? I spent 20 minutes on this, and I haven't looked at it since I wrote it down. So but let me know if you think this is better than the garbage that Disney put out, because that's kind of like the whole point, right? So we open up episode 1 immediately with an intense like one-on-one dogfight scene, right, where an Imperial ship shoots down a Rebel plane. And we see it go spiraling down. It's like Tatooine. And then we have like a classic Star Wars sideswipe where we cut to a badass shot of Obi-Wan training. because he's our protagonist. He should be a badass, right? And he's training because he knows one day he'll have to train Luke, and he won't repeat the same mistakes he did when he was training Anakin. Plus, good old Palpatine, because he doesn't know about Vader at the moment, or does he? Maybe he's training for Vader, but he's definitely at least training for Palpatine. So we get, and this is where you can put in like some fan service with like classic Star Wars, like training montage, you know, lifting the rocks, the one hand thing. But basically, we just see him like being like peak Star Wars. And then we see him like finishing up like training, and he's getting ready for his day. And we just see like this regular like monotony, like we do kind of open up in like the first episode here. We see the ins and outs of his day. It's pretty mundane until the end, where the rebel pilot we saw at the very beginning of the episode, all bloody and beaten, brings him a call to action, sending him on a mission to retrieve a Jedi holocron before Vader can get to it. Obi-Wan asks him who sends the rebel jet, or who sends the pilot, and the rebel Jedi responds, Qui-Gon. And then boom, cut to black, credits. That's a great first episode.
What's episode 2?
Speeding it up a little bit. So Obi-Wan leaves Tatooine. And
Wait, Major,
goes,
as part of his daily routine, can he be milking some strange, large creature?
No, that's
what
a
color
Luke,
will the milk be?
that's a Luke thing. That's a
Will it be
Luke only
green or will it be
thing.
blue?
Do they have cows on Tatooine?
Sand cows.
If I was in the Star Wars universe, I would be a water smuggler, and I would just smuggle water onto Tatooine. That feels like a really easy job.
What was
Just
that
go to a
character in
planet.
Dune, Matt? Susu? Or, no, wait. I don't know. There's like a water peddler in the Dune books. He's like called Susu or something like that.
Oh, so if I did that, I'd be ripping off Dune, like everything else.
Well, the whole
Anyway.
Tatooine part of, Star Wars is just ripping off Dune. But please, continue.
See, that's the great thing about any science fiction that I write can't rip off Dune, because I've never read Dune. Boom.
All art's derivative,
That's how you
so
beat
it's
them.
like you can't rip off anything anymore.
That's
even
what I'm
if you're
saying.
not trying
Don't edit out those amazing jokes you stole from the YouTube comments. All art's derivative, including comedy.
Well, that's just plagiarism on my part. But,
True. So Obi-Wan gets to the planet. He does a little fun recon, and it's actually a moon, not a planet. Maybe we throw in like a fun fetch quest, because we all know Star Wars fans love the fetch quests, right? Or I was thinking maybe like a riddle to open up like an abandoned like old Jedi temple, like from Star Wars Rebels. And episode 2 ends with a tease of Vader and a red lightsaber confronting Obi-Wan. Bam! Like you get the Vader cape, and then you see like the lightsaber, and then credits. Right? So fucking
Credits
cool.
roll.
Leave you on the edge of your seat. Right? Episode 3, balls to the wall. I think this episode should be called like Battle for like the Holocron or whatever. It's whatever. Maybe the name of the moon planet. But the episode starts, and it's just balls to the wall action. Obi-Wan and Vader just going absolutely ham on each other. Like the most epic lightsaber fight, a crazy force battle, to the point where it actually causes the small moon to start to implode or self-destruct. Kind of like Planet Namek from the old Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what this does, this gives us,
You have 5 minutes.
narratively a reason to
10
separate
episodes
Obi-Wan
later.
and Vader without having them, like, to explain like how they don't kill each other and how they each get away. Right? So there's this epic battle, right? The whole moon's like going up or whatever. Vader gets the upper hand on Obi-Wan and throws him, crushes him with all these rocks. But that's how he finds the holocron. And so while Vader is looking for the holocron, Obi-Wan sneaks away with the treasure, and that's the end of the episode. All
Okay.
right?
Well, I think if there's a crack on the moon, and the planet it orbits, there should be a massive riptide, like flooding an entire city, like in Akira.
Go for it.
I think.
I am Disney. I have literally infinite amount of money. Whatever CGI budget I need for this Star Wars property, I'm going to do it. I paid $4 billion for this IP. I'm
Just
gonna
go
throw
like
as much
full
CGI
on,
money
show the
as you
collateral
need.
damage of force battles.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's
that
when-
would be dope.
And what happens when you mess with celestial bodies? You cause massive
Right? I
collateral
mean,
damage.
they're
on
not going to do that with.
planets.
You know, they're not going to do that in the Eternals, right? Have like almost blew up the whole Earth. There's going to be no like physical repercussions for that. Anyway, entire episode 4. So here is how you really get Hayden Christensen into it, right? This episode is going to be a forced meditation episode. They're both in their back to tanks healing, right? They're going to be mimicking each other, but here, Anakin, aka Darth Vader, right? What he's doing is he's daydreaming. because he's so angry. He's just full of hatred, right? So he's daydreaming of all these different ways that he wants to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? So you see him, and you see him as Hayden Christensen because he's daydreaming, right? Why would he imagine himself with 2 less legs and 1 less arm, right? So this is how you get to see Hayden Christensen looking like Hayden Christensen without, making him a 50-year-old pedophile Padawan, right? So, and then you see some crazy acting chops from Ewan McGregor getting dragged across the lava, getting just force lightning by 1,000 lightning bolts, right? Like, just, you can go crazy. You can have so much fun while he's daydreaming about this, right? And then you go to Obi-Wan, who's healing in a back-to-tank, right? And the back-to-tank wouldn't be overplayed at this point because I wouldn't have made the whole back-to-tank of Boba Fett series, right? I would have made 16 shots of back-to-tank 6 months earlier. So it wouldn't be overplayed. You just have to imagine that. But Obi-Wan, what he's doing is he is reminiscing about his failures, and he's imagining the life that him and Anakin could have been as Jedi Masters. So again, we can see Hayden Christensen, not as Darth Vader, but as Anakin Skywalker. But this would be as if he became a Jedi Master if he never overcame to the dark side. And you get to see him and Obi-Wan on these crazy planets, or doing these crazy missions, or fighting these crazy monsters. Like, you get to see them as like brothers and best friends, like what they would do. They grow up old together in the Jedi Temple, right, as Jedi warriors. So like that would just be like a really amazing episode to really have fun with. What do you guys think?
I think it's a better way to bring Hayden Christensen in. Yeah, just than,
right.
Well, I mean, like trying to pass off Hayden Christensen as Padawan was a stupid idea. So they only had just like a dream sequence, or some sort of like maybe like sort of like when Professor X fought the Shadow King. There's like some sort of mental battle between. I don't know if that works in Star Wars, where like people like fight psychically. Like, they meet on like the psychic
Rise of
plane.
Skywalker.
Who knows? He could have been a Padawan for 25 years.
Yeah, he could.
That's true. There's like some 50-year-old college students. It could like be a real world. Yeah, that'd be funny. Like, what if a guy became a Padawan like age 40? That'd be an interesting Star Wars story.
Van Wilder goes to Jedi school, goes to Jedi Academy.
He's just like banging all the female Jedi, or all the different aliens.
The Twi'leks.
Yeah.
So in episode 5, Obi-Wan emerges from the back-to-tank. He's 100%. He's ready to go. While force meditating, searching for Vader to finish the job, he's greeted by a familiar voice. It's Qui-Gon! And then it cuts to Vader. Vader suits up. He's super pissed, right? He just got finished like 12 hours just like jerking off, thinking about how he's going to kill Obi-Wan. And so in his anger, he just kills some of his men for no reason while he's walking to his ship. Because that's how evil and angry Vader is. Like, really make this guy
seems
scary.
more like Kylo Ren. And I think that's the reason people didn't like Kylo Ren. Because Vader, he killed with purpose, and never seemed to like lose his temper.
I mean,
at least in the original trilogy, he was like a little bit more methodical about how he killed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but the prequel trilogy, he screams "No!" in the most memeable moment of all time. I think that's like losing your temper or whatever. Side note: the Obi-Wan scream much better than the no scream, in my opinion.
Oh, the what scream? The moo scream?
When Obi-Wan gets away and he's like, Obi-Wan. Like, I thought that was way better than him going, no. Although, that's like my most used gif. So, I'm not complaining about it. But, so, Obi-Wan's got Qui-Gon, and Vader goes to Palpatine for guidance. So, you still get the same cameos. I think that was a great idea. And this is more of like a chill episode. They're preparing. They're talking to their mentors. Qui-Gon tells Obi-Wan where he can find Vader, and credits. So, episode 6, called Brothers. The majority of the episode is a duel between them. Like, I'm talking a Zack Snyder Superman 1 final battle length. 40 minutes of just battling. intermittent talking in between. Right? Reminiscing, fan service, nostalgia. Hey, you remember that time? We were brothers. You were the chosen one. The Jedi betrayed you. Ahsoka, blah, blah, blah. Right? Obi-Wan beats Vader. Obi-Wan says, you still have much to learn. Right? Obi-Wan's about to kill Vader, and Vader tugs on his heartstrings. The emotional toll of this battle has been too much for him. right? Like you get to see, through the whole half of Vader's face mask is ripped off. You see him crying. Ewan McGregor is overrun with guilt and grief. And he tries to strike down Anakin, but he can't because he knows he's failed him so much already that he sucks it up because he knows he has to kill Vader. And then so he has to kill Vader, but he can't kill Vader. Like, like that movie cliche, like, I need to kill you, but I can't. But then he knows he has to, so he goes to kill him, right? Because I fucking hate that cliche. And right as he's about to lay down that final blow, Qui-Gon reappears and tells Obi-Wan that's not the Jedi way. And unlike last time, during Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan picks up a wrecked and defeated Vader and carries him back to his ship. Right? It's like, if he did that in Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine never would have grabbed him. We would have no Darth Vader. Right? So Obi-Wan is working on his character arc. This time he picks up Vader, right? Carries him back into the ship and flies off. Now, what the fuck are they going to do after that? I have no idea. I spent 20 minutes on this, right? But what a cliffhanger for season 2.
Whole afternoon.
Right?
Yeah, well,
what happens next?
I would prefer it if there was like a better way that Vader could have escaped that final. I think Kenobi does have to defeat Vader, but there should have been maybe the Inquisitors come in and they prevent Obi-Wan from, killing Vader, and there's a fight between Inquisitors and Kenobi. Kenobi gets away, but Vader's still defeated. So I don't like the idea that he just would let Vader live again, because he literally said, like, all right, my friend's truly dead. Now you're this monster. If I let you live, you're just going to kill more people, like Alderaan. And,
right. So you want Obi-Wan to kill him, right?
I want him to attempt to kill him. Obviously,
right. So that's what I was
him.
saying. Maybe I didn't write that
or
right.
Vader can't die, but Kenobi shouldn't have just walked away again.
So Obi-Wan
I don't know why this
Sorry, go ahead.
This show's obsession with, Vader and the Inquisitor know what it's like to be left for dead and to come back and kill your enemies. So why are they leaving Reva alive? Why is Kenobi leaving Vader alive?
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, and it's lazy writing, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you can't kill a character and you have violent characters, like, so as a writer, you try not to write a script. You write the characters and the characters write the script, right? So if you have these violent characters who are going to kill each other, but they can't kill each other, then the only options they have is talk it out or leave the other person to die, right? That's why you get all those monologues in the James Bond movies, and that gives James Bond enough time to get away, and it's stupid. That's why I wrote it, so that happens. It's very cliche, so you put it in there. But then Obi-Wan gets over his snowflake feelings, and he goes to kill him, but then Qui-Gon stops him and says it's not the Jedi way, and then he picks him up and he takes him on the ship, doing the opposite of Revenge of the Sith, and then we fly off to season 2.
Well,
I could only do one season of this, honestly.
Yeah, no, the way this was written, I could barely do one season. Matt, did you die? First off, did you put yourself to sleep? Was that boring, guys? I felt nerdy and boring saying that out loud. I've never written that before, but I was like, this isn't I got so tired of doing a podcast talking about how terrible the writing was and how it can't be this hard that I was like, let me just go ahead and throw a half hour at this. Didn't even take me a half hour.
I think that the problems that you are trying to correct reflects what I was saying in the first place. By creating an Obi-Wan show in the past, you're unnecessarily convoluting this whole series,
Yes.
Star Wars in general, and also on top of it, there's nothing to keep me on the edge of my seat, because I know the Grand Inquisitor doesn't die. I know Darth Vader doesn't die. I know Obi-Wan doesn't die. I know Leia doesn't die. I know Luke doesn't die. So I'm just trying to figure out which secondary characters that are like shoehorned in are going to die.
It's sort of like Better Call Saul.
Yeah, you
like,
just can't. You just
all
can't
these
be afraid
characters
for a
are going to
character.
live. So like Mike, Saul, and Gus. Like there's just like no stakes when they're on
Yeah,
screen.
but that's not the
what
point.
makes that show great though? What makes that show great though is all the secondary characters. You don't know whose fate. You don't know what their fate is going to be. So in that way, there should have been like more secondary characters who we know are not in A New Hope in this.
Yes,
That way,
yes.
it would have raised
That's true.
interest. But anyway, we need to move on to Miss Marvel. Any final thoughts on Obi-Wan? I'll give it.
Yeah,
I like
we
it
went
better
down
than
to the
I like
boys.
it better than Book of Boba Fett.
6 out of 10. 6 out
Better
of
than
10.
Seven.
Come at
Yeah,
me,
7 out of
Internet.
10.
It's,
I don't
it's
know.
on par for
I
what
think
we've
I'd
seen.
put Boba Fett over Obi-Wan.
Oh, shit.
Well, Rob, take out the Mandalorian
But I
episodes
like-
take out the
but I
Mandalorian
like-
episodes.
Oh,
This
yeah, take out the Mandalorian episodes.
because those were not Boba Fett episodes. Sorry,
I did
You
like
can't-
all the flashbacks though too.
Yeah, the flashbacks were good. So just
I mean,
present
episode
day.
2 I liked, but like the first one was like pretty lame. The third one was awful with the
All right, let's
Power
move on.
Rangers
Let's not
figures.
waste any more time on
Yeah,
Book
Miss
of Boba.
Marvel. Okay, so
Miss Marvelous.
We finally found out who the bad guys were. The dime store Eternals, the clandestines.
The clandestines.
The budget
Jinn.
Eternals, yeah. I mean, they're basically the exact same story. They're from a different dimension. They're immortal, you know.
Yeah, let me ask
don't
you this.
really have
Does that
cool
mean they're not
costumes.
Kree? If they come from a different dimension, does this mean they're not Kree?
But you know, they're like, you know, they've been around for a long time. So they're like basically immortal, and you know, they have. I guess they don't have powers. They just have these weapons that are like sort of random. One is a mace. One has like a whip. One has a spear. And
Yeah,
I don't know
they
if
seem-
the older lady had what Nakia Najka. I'm sorry, I'm butchering her name. The leader. Oh, was it so weird that conveniently Kamran's really 17? He's not like 100 years old, because that would have made it creepy for them, for Kamala
Yeah,
and him
right.
to like each other. It's like, oh no, he's really 17. Like, we're hundreds of years old, but he's, you know, he's not immortal. I was like, oh my gosh. So I mean, anyway, but yeah, so we saw the wedding with his brother, with her brother.
Man, that was fun. I love weddings
This-
on TV
this
shows.
show
and I love
has, like,
multicultural.
A showcase for Muslim American culture is great. As a superhero show, it's pretty lame. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I am learning. You know, it's interesting. Like they are showcasing certain facets of you know, Pakistani American culture that we, you know, people like me have no idea about, but like we're learning about.
Right.
So that's what's cool
I
about
think
the
that's
show.
really cool. And American
Yeah.
culture. Her brother, Aram, he said he has $724 in his bank account.
See,
He's a grad student.
they are relatable.
Right, very relatable. A report just came out, an economic report just came out last week, that 40% of Americans have less than $400 in their savings account. So,
Ooh, so he's doing pretty well then.
yeah.
So,
Glass half full.
yeah. Did it start with the flashback with like what, British occupied India?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So they were like, should we be concerned that this arm is severed? And I was like, what about the fact that it's blue?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like, do they just like the fact that they didn't care that the arm was blue made me think like they were at one point blue, or they're aware that it's alien technology.
And don't forget the line, where's the other Bengal? So basically the villain in the last episode is going to have the exact same powers as Kamala, like every other Marvel.
Like every other
Thing.
Marvel, because it's too hard to come up with a different counter opposing like power set.
I know.
Did you
Yeah.
catch that Easter egg for 10 Rings? Anyone? Did anyone
Oh
catch
no,
that?
I did not.
Yeah, so
Oh,
at the
no.
very end of that
No.
intro, that cold open scene, you get the eagle, the overhead shot, right? And it starts zooming out, and it's actually got the 10 ring banner, like the logo, the 10 rings and the symbols, was like carved into the floor.
Ooh.
Oh.
It has been around for like thousands of years. Yes,
And,
what else
you
happened
know,
in this episode?
That what do you call it? What was that? That dragon? That dragon, wasn't he from another dimension?
The one in Shang-Chi?
The one
Or
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi. Yes, Shang-Chi. So like maybe that's it. I don't know. Just spitballing. Tweeted us at ZZO Podcast if you have any theories. We'd love to get your thoughts on it. And if you think we're going to see a Shang-Chi cameo, maybe some 10 rings.
It's going to be amazing if we don't get like a Carol Danvers cameo in this. It's just
Here's my
literally
thing.
called
So
Miss Marvel.
the internet's speculating all about it, and I totally understand. Like, of course, that makes a lot of sense. But they didn't put Doctor Strange in WandaVision because they didn't want that cameo to take away from Wanda's
Wanda's
IP.
a Scarlet Witch. She's not Strange Girl. You
Well,
know,
here's
she's
my
literally.
thing. Yeah, but she's already as an established character. So if they didn't want to like steal screen time away from an established character, then I doubt they're going to want to do that to a brand new character that they're trying to put out on their own.
But the thing is, like, Miss Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers is such a huge part of her. Like, she's literally named after her, and she's like there's literally pictures of Carol Danvers everywhere, like in her posters of her in her room. That wasn't the case for Doctor Strange in WandaVision. I don't think she even mentioned.
I disagree.
Did she even mention Doctor Strange in WandaVision?
Doctor Strange was the Sorcerer Supreme, and she had taken a whole city under a hex. If that's not his department, then I don't know what is.
Yeah,
but he wasn't mentioned though in that show.
He might not have been mentioned, but he should have been. He was sleeping on the ball.
Captain Marvel is extremely mentioned and prevalent in this show.
I see what you're saying. I agree. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just messing with you.
Where was he at the time? I wonder.
He was
Wanda's advocate.
He was in COVID lockdown. If we're being honest. Amir and Taisha's wedding. That was really great. And I like the idea of how like they triple check that they want to get married. Like they ask 3 times, "Are you sure you want to marry this person? Are you sure you want to marry this person? Are you sure you want to marry this person?"
He has $700 in his bank account. Are you sure?
Like I really enjoyed that.
No.
As a marriage joke.
Yeah. Matt, do
Bollywood?
you watch Miss Marvel?
Bollywood was fun.
True. Yeah.
Matt actually stepped out for a second because he hasn't seen this episode.
I gotta go.
Tip, you saw it.
I think I have D&D at 8,
Oh, no.
so...
okay.
Oh, how embarrassing! All right, well, we'll see you Wednesday for our D&D game.
I know, I was hoping we would get to talk about the boys.
Talking about the boys with the boys. We'll talk about it.
You know.
Yeah, we spent so much time on Obi-Wan.
I know we should talk about the boys. That's like what we really want to discuss, but we gotta.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Well, we gotta get through. We gotta get through all the grudge. To leave them on the edge of their seat. It's all about the SEO. You guys gotta listen to the whole podcast. So we gotta leave the best stuff for the end.
My thought on the boys is, we need some more. It'd
Need
be
some
fun.
more boys. Hey, how about this? I'll give it to you next Friday.
What was that?
I'll give you a whole nother hour next Friday.
Ooh, wait, this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, that too. I'll give you an hour then too, just because you asked.
On July the 1st.
Well, maybe Tip, you can record your thoughts and I can add them to the podcast. In the editing room.
Tips, rants. What do you guys think about Brown Jovi?
Oh yeah, well,
Brown-eyed Jovi.
They had the fight scene during they were playing what? Renegade? Not Renegade, but what song?
Whatever the song was from the subtitles.
Make It or Not.
But so the Gen, kind of overall, like you said, like they don't really have superpowers. They just have like super tech. It seems, and then the damage control comes in and arrests the bad guys.
So they don't even have like super strength. So
yeah, here was my thing. Like, so at the very end, Kamala's like getting cornered, and I'm like, you can still just like punch him with your giant fist that you had. That was so effective like 2 seconds ago. Just punch him again.
You can only use it once per episode. It's like the boost button in Knight Rider. You can only press it once per episode. I mean,
that was
sort
the
of
whole
like
episode.
That's the whole sort of problem with superhero shows in general, like especially X-Men. Like, there's so many. Basically, any problem can be solved with Professor X just like turning off the bad guy's brain.
Well, that's why you have to Professor X.
And that's why Doctor Strange being kidnapped.
Yeah.
It's also every time she uses her powers, that's VFX money.
And the same thing with the Flash. Like, literally, like any conflict in that show could just be fixed with Barry just knocking someone out at super speed. But he always has to stop and talk to the bad guy. So it's like prepackaged or it's just conflict for conflict's sake.
Right.
Speaking of super speed, how about A-Train at the end of The Boys?
Wow.
I think we're already talking about The Boys.
Let's get right.
I think we've discussed Miss Marvel as best we can.
I think that was a hint right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't like the whole tell us what's going on, Kamala. And she's like, I can't.
But still, quite enjoyable.
No
I really enjoyed
consequences.
it. 8 out of 10 this episode.
I think I might like Obi-Wan better this week, but this is like it's not a good superhero show, or it's not really
it's more of a coming of age story with a superhero than a superhero story.
The superhero stuff in the show is like the weakest part, but like the family and the
really, I
the
thought
showcase
I
of
feel
Muslim
like Bruno's the
culture.
weakest part. I like Bruno in episode 1, but he's been really going downhill since Kamran has shown up. Ooh, Kamran.
I know.
Anyway,
hashtag KamalaCom.
I was gonna make a joke about Herogasm, but she's in high school and she went to AdventureCon. So, yeah. And by the way, that probably sounds way worse than whatever joke you thought I was gonna make. I just
I
didn't
mean,
want to
I
put
literally
the two
made like an Obi.
in the
I made
same
like
sentence.
two. I made two Obi-Wan pedophile jokes. So I think it's like fair game.
It's and I don't have a good segue. I'm just
Okay.
now.
The boys. So this was probably the best episode of the season, and what it was named for, Herogasm, was probably the most forgettable part. Ironically,
Yeah, I don't know if it's expectations being built up too high, or if they just diverge so much from the source material, and for the first time, it's kind of hasn't hit the mark.
I will say this:
Yeah,
having read the comics, I was afraid of because they've gotten like free license to do as much craziness as they had in the past,
Yeah,
and I was like almost afraid with how far they were going to take it. But in the end, I felt it was very tame compared to the comics.
I agree.
Everything
You
is
know
tamed
why?
compared to
I
the
think it
comics.
was episode 1. I think season 3, episode 1, the opener when Termite Man walks up that guy and he explodes. Like, I think like that set the expectation. That set the bar so high. So
Yeah.
that's at the bar. Plus,
That's true.
Herogasm,
we're just
like the source
we're just
material.
desensitized at this point.
Yeah, at this
think.
point,
Dude, the boys is so desensitized.
yeah, like
to
how
some
like
of this
I don't
stuff.
care about an Iceman making a glass dildo. I just saw Kimiko put 12 dildos through a guy in the last episode. I'm sorry, like I think Rob's nailed it. Like, I'm just desensitized. You gotta go bigger. Unlike Termite, who can't
Yeah,
anymore
how-
because Homelander squished him.
Yeah, this episode
How
was
cringe
the
some of
intro.
that stuff was when I first watched it to now. It's definitely
Oh man. So I guess the big storylines were, Soldier Boy is working with Huey and Butcher now, and Soldier Boy was getting agitated, thinking about the good old days, and he almost started I think Huey had the Geiger counter and it kept ticking off. So what do you
And
think
apparently,
Oh, man, when
Cosby,
he was like-
Cosby is the best dad and makes strong drinks.
He's America's
Oh,
dad.
yeah.
Joke.
yeah.
Makes strong drinks though.
It's like, anybody gonna tell him?
Yeah, he's like,
Or he was like, "How are you gonna get around without GPS or the internet?" And he's just like, "You made
those words up or Bluetooth.
yeah, I'm
It's like, see?
loving he's just like they're
I love all
taking
the
so many
differences.
cues from the Captain America from the MCU. Him having write down all the stuff he missed while he was away.
Yeah, I feel like this
Although-
is like an accurate portrayal. Like, if you took someone and you displaced them by 50 years, no matter what time period, that person's going to seem relatively racist.
Things are gonna be so
outdated,
different.
not understand technology, and
Sorry, keep going.
so I was gonna say, so Marvel gets around that by focusing on Man Out of Time, Captain Rogers, and music and movies and pop culture that he missed. That because Disney loves pop culture, right? And then the boys are like, "Nah, fuck that. That guy's that guy was racist as hell. He loved drugs,
sexist,
right?
yeah.
Right, sexist, right?
founded Herogasm
right?
with a Nazi."
70 years ago. Liberty.
Yeah.
The throwaway line where
I wonder if
what's
he
her
knew.
name's-
I don't think anyone
what's-
knew, did they?
Yeah, what's her name's mother he hooked up with. So now you're questioning as to whether or not he's the father of racist Nazi woman.
Wait, Soldier Boy's the father of Stormfront?
Yeah, he hooked up with Liberty.
No,
Oh, Liberty. I thought
Stormfront-
Liberty was. I thought Stormfront was Liberty. I thought it
Stormfront
Yeah,
was Liberty.
Storefront is Liberty.
Never mind, you're correct.
Yeah.
I was thinking of another character.
She doesn't age.
Yeah.
But as a side note, too, in that scene where Huey's talking with Soldier Boy, I loved that little throwaway part where he's losing his powers and he tries to pick up the shield.
Yeah, and it's so
way
heavy.
too heavy. And just goes to show you how powerful Soldier Boy is because he's just
Don't touch
Carrying
the
Carrying
it
shit.
around like
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, so I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So what were the other plot lines in this? I think. I don't want to skip to the.
So it looks like the mission is to fight Homelander, and we've got two teams doing it.
Oh yeah,
We've got the
yeah,
boys.
the goal was getting to TNT twins.
Right.
Yeah,
let's team
so
team.
Mother's Milk and
we
Starlight.
We help Soldier Boy get payback on Team Payback, and in return, he will get Homelander. And then you've got Mother's Milk and Starlight, and possibly Maeve. What do you guys think? Is Maeve in rehab or is Maeve dead?
She's just in prison somewhere.
No, Maeve is gonna, after Starlight's whole thing at the end of the episode, Maeve is gonna reappear out of somewhere, and it's gonna be like, she really was in rehab.
I wonder because he
No,
killed
Black
Alex.
Noir. Black Noir grabbed her, but
Where did Black
Wonder
We
Noir
Woman-
got
go?
to talk about Black Noir.
okay.
this
Oh,
episode.
dude, just
Yeah.
dipping.
So first off, no, that is the best thing. You're my friend. You got my back. He runs into the
The
elevator
very
Cuts out
first
his
thing he
chip.
does.
and bolts.
God, he just hands it to that woman, and she's like, "Thank you."
It made me wonder if he was running or going to somebody.
Oh, it looks like he's running. I think he's
he's
running
just trying to
from
get off the
Soldier
grid.
Boy.
Yeah, he knows the Soldier Boy's after him. He's just like, I don't want to
Yeah.
die.
At first, I was confused too, Rob. But then later on, when I was rewatching the episode, and the TNT twins were snitching, and they were like, it was all Noir who set him up. And so, like, if Noir did set up Soldier Boy, then he knows Soldier Boy's going to find out. So I think Soldier Boy's scared. I think Black Noir is scared. I think he's running for it.
Yeah, that was great. Although he's like the second most powerful guy in the team, right? After Homelander.
Yeah, in
So
theory.
I will say this: in the comics, he's actually the clone of Homelander.
Whoa, you got to give
so I'm
spoilers
curious.
for that kind of
Huge
shit.
spoiler
Whoa,
thrown
man.
out there.
I love already told you guys this, though.
Yeah, but
I know,
last
but-
episode,
Listeners.
look, these are new episodes. Do you not know how episodes work? These are new episodes with new listeners.
Just throw a gigantic spoiler out there.
Alright.
In the comics. Plus, the viewers already know what he
that's-
looks like,
no, no,
though, without the mask
that's what I'm
on.
saying,
So.
though. That's what I'm saying, though, because in this show,
Not if he was
he
replaced.
he's like, well, maybe that is a thing because they have that flashback.
They're definitely
where
doing
he's
something different.
a black Vietnam era soldier who has half of his face melted off.
Right.
So I'm really curious as to how they're gonna if they're just gonna completely ignore who he is, just kind of like how they're ignoring Mother's Milk's comic book background.
Oh, that was for the best.
so-
That's a good That was a good creative call to cut that storyline out.
Well, I will say this,
Mother's
one of the
Milk
things-
storyline?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the things that I hate is like the Halo TV series, where we're just going to take the name and make our own story. The boys,
Yeah,
there are
that's
times
pissed off
where they
so many
change it.
people.
Yeah, there are times where they change it, and I've really appreciated the subtle nuance. Like, it's better if we do it this, because this is 2022, not early aughts. So let's work with this a little bit. So there have been a few changes that I've appreciated, a few I haven't, but it's not insulting to the fan that we make this change. If that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't.
Yeah, they're
Episode
doing this
one,
show a
taking
lot
that
better than
helmet
they did Preacher, because the changes in Preacher just did not make any sense, or just were not
Dude, don't even get me
improvements.
started about Preacher yet. Season
But-
2 kind of course corrected, but
I'd say season 3 is when they sort of course corrected. They definitely embraced the comic a lot more in season 3, and I still haven't finished season 4 because by that point I actually like season 3 of Preacher because that was probably the most faithful to the comic. But
Yeah,
I think
I
season
saw
4 was
stuff on-
trying to as well. But I think the changes, the first two seasons, Preacher just was not a hit out the gate like The Boys was. And I think by the time they decided to course correct, it was too late. They already lost viewers, and that was never a ratings hit for AMC. At least AMC, to their credit, they let the producers finish Preacher. They didn't just cancel it. So, but
Yeah.
this show is definitely adapting the comic way better. The reason I bring up Preacher is because Garth Ennis wrote it, and he wrote The Boys too. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was
similar. One's about a preacher looking for God to kill him. The other one's about superheroes. Is a parody of superheroes, but the same sort of raunchy humor is in both. So.
Well, before we even get to the major battle and the whole hero gasm thing, we've totally gone over Kimiko and Frenchie.
Oh, that was
their plot.
I love that line where both groups were like, "Oh man, Frenchie would be really upset if he wasn't here."
Oh yeah, that was great.
Oh, Frenchie
Yeah.
would be upset. And Frenchie is
Frenchie's
tied
missing out everything.
to the neck, getting his ass kicked, and missing out on hero gasm.
Yep. And having to choose which love of his life Nina is gonna kill.
Oh man, yeah, that was.
So
Tough
wait,
choice.
what's the French chick?
That was
name?
the girl from season 1, his ex.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I guess
Yeah.
she tackled little Nina, and
Nina?
little Nina ran away. That was sort of
oh.
vague how little Nina got away.
Yeah,
I
she
thought-
she got knocked over and then she was gone.
Yeah.
There was
yeah,
no
didn't show us. Yeah.
No, Kimiko, she's gone. Don't worry.
So does
We will get to
Kimiko
it in
have her
another
powers
episode.
back, sort of? Because
No, she doesn't. No, that's the
she's
whole
just
thing about her
always
being
able
a
to be
monster.
Oh,
able to take someone
Yeah,
out.
you just don't,
Okay,
you
so
just
we
don't mess
just
with
gotta-
crazy bitches because they will stab you
She
100
goes from
times in the chest.
a female John Wick to a John Wick with powers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was definitely a lot
hand-to-hand,
more.
not with
That was a
guns.
lot more cringe. Her killing those Russians than anything we saw in Herogasm. I felt.
Yeah, that was a lot
Yeah,
of
I
blood.
thought that scene was more brutal.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
everything, and especially at the end where she just keeps stabbing him, and it's like, dear God. And then afterwards, when they're talking to each other about their past and how they're not who they, their past do not dictate who they are. Like, it's like really well written. I love it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I really fear for both of the characters to survive this season.
Well, I think they can kill the main 5 characters. I think they at least got to make it to the last season, so I think they're fine. I don't know who else could die because maybe I guess A-Train died. Maybe.
I
love.
Maeve.
That was great. That
What?
was very good writing. How they killed A-Train, like how A-Train was just so mad. Like
Or did they kill him?
He knew.
Probably not.
Probably not. But like he knew. Like he at least they said it several times in the season before. Like if you run, like
It would
I have
be
a
a
chance,
roulette.
my heart will explode. Basically, right? But he was so mad, so angry at this guy that he just ran him literally until his heart exploded.
Well, he stole a
he didn't
KO from
care.
Mortal Kombat. I think.
Yeah,
Kano.
that is totally how to. Yeah.
No,
Was
so,
it
so
Kano?
no, here's the thing though. What I really appreciate about that scene is historically the call to basically before civil rights, the plight of black people. Like it was very common for them to be drugged through town behind horses, and then later the lynchings by dragging them behind a truck. And
I
just
didn't
the
even think
call
about that.
to that.
Dang.
The
Yeah,
call
I
to
didn't
that, like
either.
how he's using
Super speed
his
lynch.
past, So it is a really powerful, I think, an amazingly powerful moment there.
I
While
didn't
you're
think of
watching a
that.
guy
That's-
die, and it's just like,
Yeah,
ooh, I like took a step
it's
back.
funny
I'm like, holy
because
shit, that's
earlier in the
calling a lot of
episode,
shit.
they had like a promo for like a show where he's going to embrace his past by going back to Africa. But like in the final scene, he was embracing his past, but in like a very dark way. Not his
but
past,
using
but
it
it's
to
like
punish the using it to punish the racist, I think is why it's so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, the writing this season has been just near
we
perfect.
can't forget his genuine apology to Huey.
That was good.
that was
Yeah.
a crazy, and Huey didn't even know what to do,
And then
so he
it
punches
didn't.
him.
He
Yeah.
just punches him.
Whoa,
He was like,
whoa,
"Oh,
how'd
now
you do
I
that?
can't
At first,
No, how'd you do that?
At first it didn't seem like legit apology, but then the glasses came off.
Yeah,
and-
dude. I was
And,
like,
like,
fuck
Huey
you.
got a little
Huey was
emotional.
he was like, "Oh no, can't you still be
Oh,
an asshole?
that actually. Yeah, I wanted
Like,
to
I need
punch
you to be an
anyway.
asshole. My hate's all I have." Yeah, so that was great.
But the thing is like he only comes to this like moment because what's her name is like, you're only upset because it's finally happened to you. Like, you have killed all these people and we've covered it up, but you're only upset now because
Yeah.
Oh, that
you're
was great.
involved. And I thought that was once again
Uh-huh.
writing so
That's
powerful.
So good.
Because even though it's coming from a crazy corporate person, it is true.
Yeah, I really like how
and it
those
forces
storylines
Yeah,
the
you
kind of
didn't
viewers
care
to
before.
reflect on that.
Yeah, I'm glad that it was this callback. So they haven't forgotten the sins of this character from previous seasons, which so many other shows do.
Yeah.
Or even like the
Oh,
Fast and
yeah.
Furious movies,
Yeah.
like Jason Statham's character killed the Asian dude, and they're like having barbecue with them in the next movie, and they literally had to.
Yeah.
And people were so upset about they had to bring back the Asian character back in the next movie. So it's like
But-
at least this show is really very good on continuity as well as
But
like
that,
writing.
that's the thing. Like, you're thinking that A-Train's going to go on this huge redemption arc, but consistently you're reminded that even though this is a redemption arc, it's not good in the end. He's still a horrible human being with superpowers.
Yeah, and just like Huey remembering Robin. So like the callback season 1. So the callback season 1 is just great. So I'm really liking that they're just remembering the continuity. Like they're rewatching their own show before they write the new seasons. It seems so. That's
Yeah.
good.
which seems rarer than it should be.
Yeah. So I don't want
Hey,
to
can
get
we
to. Go ahead.
I just want to get to one point. I think one of the best scenes in this whole series was, and I keep forgetting the actor's name, but Homelander talking to himself in the mirror.
And
Right out of
think
the
it
comics.
was
Star.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
right out of the
very
comics.
powerful, and it was just really well written. And the actor is just so phenomenal in that scene, playing two different sides to his psyche, and it's like just the
And he
faces
mentions the
makes.
bad room, so he's like
Yeah.
been with him a long time.
Yeah, but like the faces he makes and like how he emotes, because it's really just how he talks to himself,
So-
and it's just really, really well done.
Matt,
like they picked the perfect actor.
Matt, let me ask you this. So in the comics, spoilers for the comics if you haven't read it, fast forward 2 minutes or whatever. In the comics, Homelander, so Black Noir is a contingency in case Homelander ever goes crazy, but he doesn't. So Black Noir goes crazy without a purpose, and it makes Homelander think. So Black Noir acts out, does a lot of stuff, and it makes Homelander think that he's going crazy, and it actually drives him crazy. So if Black Noir isn't the same Black Noir, isn't a clone from the comic books, do you think they're just going to adapt that storyline and have Homelander go crazy by himself? Because that just seems like what's happening here.
So I think what they're doing is they're trying to make the whole clone story into a identity crisis story, where kind of like Moon Knight, how it's like during the bad times I was here, and they're showing him getting beat by his mother.
Right.
I think they're trying to, like, not to say steal that from Marvel, but
Well,
I think that's where it's going to go.
Oh my gosh,
think
Matt.
about like
I
the
really
boys
question whether Black Noir is going to survive this season.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Black Noir was like the real villain of the boys. Like, he's the one who raped Butcher's wife in the comic, and like he does like all this horrible stuff. And like we're made to think that Homelander did it, but like in this show, Homelander actually is the rapist.
It's
probably
bad.
Yeah, they're actually.
So that's why I'm thinking it's like identity.
Homelander's still an asshole in the comic, but he's not as bad, nowhere near as bad as Black Noir, who's like the real villain of the comic. But I think they just wanted to I guess they felt like that would be sort of like a cop out if they just made like, oh, really, it's just Black Noir. But it worked in the comic, but I think in the show, I think it's a better idea just like have Homelander as the true villain.
In the comic,
because he's been a great villain.
Homelander is that Republican Christian who thinks that they're doing right by everybody, but secretly destroying everyone's life.
Yeah. So I guess we can finally talk about the final battle scene, the big finish, the climax. No pun intended.
Which is hilarious because like Hirogasm is just like, okay, cool, deep fucks an octopus.
Yeah, like we figured,
that was one of the better parts.
I was like, how they can humiliate Deep this week.
Right, and Starlight takes a picture of it. She's like, "Oh, Homelander."
I do like how,
Click.
I do like how Deep fired the whole intelligence team, and then it's blaming everybody else.
Yeah, that's classic.
For him
Classic
firing
Deep.
everybody.
And
And then
just,
it's like, make sure Deep destroys this footage, and I will kill you if he fucks up.
Yeah, that was really
And
good.
how about that surprise for Mother's Milk on the other side of that door?
oh yeah, it's like, I need a shower.
What was he looking at that they didn't even show? They just
that had to
apparently-
have been sausage. That had to have been love sausage.
No, he was already in the
yeah, that wasn't love sausage. I don't know
I
what
forget
that was.
who it was. It was one of the producers who's actually saying that line, by the way.
Oh,
Which
really?
I think is hilarious. Yeah, it's one of the producers of
funny.
the show who is credited as saying that line.
Oh wow.
What
That
did he
was-
say? Like throwing ropes?
Because Mother's Milk is really into like he always has like the hand sanitizer and like
Yeah,
rubs
he's
it all
like
over his arms.
OCD.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like,
he was
he's a
just talking about a
germaphobe.
little on his jacket, and then that happened.
He's like, "I need a
Yeah.
bathroom," and he opens up that door and then just sploosh.
I'd be freaked out too.
Dude, I would
oh
be
my
out.
gosh, that much?
Game
Just
over,
like
dude.
Holy shit.
all the blood that gets on people, much less like that.
Oh,
would be like
man.
even worse.
Can you imagine all the STDs? You have all the STDs now.
the SSTDs? You mean?
Super STIs. Dun 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 dun.
So, yeah. Well,
But,
I think they
like-
also mentioned I think the prostitutes, like these are human prostitutes, and they're probably like risking their lives just being with the superheroes, but like the superheroes don't care. So it really just shows another not more collateral damage, but just
Yeah,
like
they're
how
just
hazardous
they're just
it
terrible
is
people.
to be with these people. Yeah.
Now, one thing I did miss from correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I think in the comic books it's the superheroes and the supervillains, right? Because it's all one just giant play from bots.
Yeah, it's like this, like kind of like the story they tell you of World War I, where on Christmas the Germans and the Brits sang Christmas songs together, and the next day they go back to shooting each other. It's like this temporary truce where everyone comes together.
For like a for like an
because-
infinite crisis.
Just a
kind
big
of
orgy.
event.
So, yeah. So the issue too is you have to remember this comic is not about there's a clear line between good and evil. There's this extreme gray area where the evil people think that they're good, but just through their means, and the good people think that they're doing everything right, but they're destroying everything. So you have to look at that as well. So, you know, there is no clear, definitive line of who's evil and who's good. And at this point, it's just like everybody gets together and has a giant orgy.
Yeah, well, it's like under the cover of a crossover, I think. Usually, that's how they explain in the comic. Like, you know, like every comic, like Marvel and DC has these giant crossover events every year, and that's like the cover story for what they're actually doing. Like, yeah, we gotta go fight the Kree Empire. Wink, wink, wink. So we're gonna be off planet. We're gonna go fight Thanos.
We're going off
wink,
world.
Wink. Yeah. So
we're going to have off-world sex.
Yeah, out of this world.
They all disappear.
So, yeah.
So I guess overall,
so many things this episode.
Yeah, kind of underwhelmed, if I can be so blasphemous.
Well, what about the
So I
Soldier
will
Boy
say-
fight at the end?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready for. Like, up to this, like, there are great scenes, and I feel like the problem is when you title it Herogasm, there's this build-up,
Yeah.
and the actual, like, joke part that you're anticipating is very tame. So even though prior to that whole thing, there are so many great storylines going on.
Mhm.
You know, Huey and Starlight, Kimiko and Frenchie, and then to like get to the butt of the joke and just be kind of let down by it, it's only rescued by this fight scene.
Yeah.
And it's funny
Oh,
because
man.
it's
So
episode
good.
6, so you know that they're not going to win. So you're like, who dies? How does this get fucked up? And the whole time, and it was like a good 10-minute fight scene. So it wasn't bad.
No, it was well paced, well choreographed, and you know, created one of my favorite memes. Actually, came from Force out of it. But I like how it started 1v1, then 2v1, then 3v1, and then they were so close.
Yeah,
and
talk about Huey.
So close.
coming through. Like after getting Starlight out of there. Although they go right back, but you know, still, I guess he teleports. Obviously, it's just sort of funny. Like he's trying to be badass, and it was badass, you know, for him. Even though he was like butt naked, it's like funny,
just
but it was like
completely
badass.
naked.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't even care.
You can't
And,
strike
like,
a pose.
Yeah, just
You can't do anything. You're just naked.
He's just like
That one scene where he's like, no, I need to give my butthole a rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny. Yeah, when that guy whispers. And
perfect
invites him
place
do
to like
something.
to teleport when you can't teleport with clothes. Like,
Yeah,
perfect
that's
place to
literally the
go.
only place you could teleport into. Is
When you
an orgy.
you
and it
fit
makes
right
sense.
in. And you fit right in.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So so like Soldier
I know-
Boy. Go ahead.
I know Major loved one specific point because he's always about Chekhov's rifle. We have Chekhov's cape.
Yes.
How Soldier Boy makes fun of him for his cape.
Oh, and then he
Oh,
yanks
and
it
grabs his
down.
cape. Down.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him down.
That was awesome. How it was just mentioned too.
Yeah, you got a stupid cape. And it, boom. And then he pulls him by
Uses the
cape.
cape
For
against.
those
I
that
did
don't
like-
know what we're talking about.
It's just like
I
in
seriously thought
Incredibles,
of you.
no cape.
I
Remember
did
in
like
the
how
Incredibles?
That's the best scene.
When they're-
maybe one of
Yeah.
my favorite scenes of any movie is the cape scene from Incredibles.
Yeah, well, I did like how Soldier Boy made good on his deal when he thought Butcher was dead, you know, to fight Homelander.
Instead of just be like, oh, well, I don't care anymore. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's like, I got no grudge, I got no problem with you, I'm just here to kill payback.
I love
Love
how MM is so blinded by rage that he tried to take on the strongest superhero by
Although
himself.
Homelander was going to kill Soldier Boy
yeah,
regardless.
how was he going to do that?
Oh yeah, it didn't really matter. Sort of like just Butcher with Homelander. I did love that. Like,
Yeah.
Bill Mother's Milk was just like, you get to kill Homelander, but I don't get to kill Soldier Boy. You're such a hypocrite.
No,
And I was
when
like, oh,
when Butcher gets up and hits Homelander for the first time, and he looks at
man.
Butcher
Must have-
and he's like, "What the
was so
fuck did you
satisfying.
do?" And it's
Yeah.
so good.
What the fuck?
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
just
love
being
that. Like,
surprised by him with those lasers.
yeah, I love that. Like Soldier Boy's Mother's Milk, Mother's MM's Homelander.
Yeah.
And like Butcher is being 100% a hypocrite for like.
No,
not letting
They're
him
so
kill
addicted
Host.
to the V.
Here's my thing. Let Soldier Boy kill Homelander, and then we will take care of your problem. then we will kill Soldier Boy. But we need Soldier Boy to kill Homelander first. If we
he's got to see
if we
that.
kill
what they're
Soldier
gonna-
Boy, then we still have a Homelander problem.
I mean, basically, what's going to happen is they're going to find out
So
Soldier
true.
Boy is worse than Homelander, at least like just because he's like a walking Chernobyl, and he's like, I have so he's
Racist
probably, like,
Chernobyl. On top of that,
Yeah.
Well, so no, you get in the hints of it because Huey, this whole time in this episode, he's starting to question the strategy, and especially when he blacks out for the second time, you get this idea that Huey's starting to come to his senses at this point.
Yeah, because it looks like he was having trouble going nuclear when they were trying to kill Homelander, or he was at least, or just Homelander just get away in time because he would have killed Huey
He did just
and
use it
Butcher.
too. Yeah, but it
If he
shows
went off.
he's willing to sacrifice to finish the job.
yeah, to keep
Yeah.
Starlight safe. No, I think Homelander just got out in the nick of time.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems like like whenever like Soldier Boy starts to heat up, he can't stop himself. But I guess in this case, maybe I don't know.
That look on Butcher's face when he's swinging on Homelander,
Yeah,
just
he's
that
like,
smile.
Finally, yeah.
Forrest, I think the reason is because when he couldn't stop himself before is because he had blacked out due to all like the Russian music or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this,
Oh,
he was
okay.
doing it on purpose, so it was a controlled blast.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I was getting to. But
yeah.
I will like
Since
to
he
point
learns
out,
that's his trigger.
at the end of this episode, after the fight, and Starlight is, live streaming. Have you noticed all 4 of the last episodes have ended with Starlight?
No.
What was
I
like the last
haven't.
one? Oh yeah, I guess it was like the home light. I remember that one.
I didn't
Yeah,
think
there
of
was
that.
the one where she's holding her fingers behind her back, saying she won't do this.
Oh.
All the last 4 episodes have
Yeah.
all ended with Starlight, which makes me think her
I
character
didn't think of that.
will not make through the season.
Oh,
And she was even
Oh,
saying,
and we can't
she was
forget-
even saying, I don't know what they're gonna do to me for saying this.
And we can't forget that like Homelander literally thought she was his girlfriend when they were on the talk show.
But now
Yeah,
that she
like
put
she's
that
playing
out
it.
there, even if they come up with some crazy excuse of what happened, that they're always going to suspect him.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what would you do to Starlight?
Starlight
after-
speaks out and then Starlight disappears. Like, look, even if there's
Like,
no
yeah,
evidence,
just-
we all know what happened here. Matt, that,
No,
Yeah.
Starlight's going to be killed by Soldier Boy in the final battle.
oh, that'd be
or
sad.
something.
And then
do it a
Huey's-
heroic
So-
thing instead of like something bad happened.
Well, Matt, I see your
But-
observation, and I want to raise you one. We didn't talk about the beginning of this episode, this incredibly cringeworthy moment, and we talked about this in previous episodes.
yeah.
How they take aspects of real life and they throw it in this TV
Yeah.
show, like the cringeworthy
With Pat
Imagine
Oswalt
song.
is stringing Imagine.
So
yeah.
I think it's really funny to see. We start off with we start the episode with the Deep singing Imagine. I guess those are superheroes, or I'm not sure. There's other people, celebrities doing this incredibly
superheroes and
cringeworthy.
celebrities.
Or what about
'Cause
Homelander?
it's-
He's telling the TV like, go to your restaurants, go outside. It's okay.
Yeah, like the pandemic.
Everything's
it's,
safe.
Like, it's safe. It's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
But it definitely is a
So-
problem.
I think the beginning though, when they're singing, Imagine, it's mocking the corporatization of superheroes and the corporatization of everything in life. How everything is this, just kind of, for lack of a better phrase, corporate synergy. Like we can take a bad event, and if we just sing about it,
Right.
And this goes back to where was it last episode or 2 episodes ago, where they were mocking the Jenner Pepsi,
Last episode,
commercial.
yeah.
Like
With-
everything is about how like everything is corporate. Everything
or like
has
the
Gotta make them some
all,
money.
all
off
the
of it,
rainbow
too.
stuff
Exactly.
at the Votland. Like the prize
All the
stuff that
woke
you see
stuff.
in June. Yeah,
Woke walk.
like they don't actually believe in this because they're superheroes, literally
just trying to get
killing
money.
people where their brains explode. But if we can make a good commercial to drive up our stock options, everything is corporate, and it's kind of mocking that. It is, and I feel this season has done a great job of this. Every single episode, there has been some joke about the corporatization of.
And they nailed it. They didn't just make the
Yep.
joke; they nailed it. They punchlines executed properly.
yeah. I also liked how Homelander was like, now that he's CEO, he's really feeling the pressure
Oh my gosh! Like
on the way to the job.
right?
He's freaking out.
Like what's his name? Edgar. Stan Edgar
Yeah.
was like, I was like your last line of defense. Like you're fucked now that you have to do so by yourself. And then shit hits the fan immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how is Homelander going to explain
Homelander can't run a
12
company.
superheroes dead? Like, how are you going to explain the catastrophe of Herogasm or
Love sauces can never make love again.
He's getting so paranoid.
I wonder if Stan Edgar is coming back. I wonder if Homelander's about to eat a big old juicy bowl of humble pie. And I wonder if we get Stan Edgar back.
In the series finale, Stan Edgar is going to come back. And
he's
that's going to be when, like, Maeve
as
is going
Moff
to be
Gideon,
reintroduced.
Darksaber. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Maeve is going to be reintroduced.
Sorry, I had to steal a Baby Yoda real fast.
And a bucket of Los Pollos Hermanos. So, just like, whoa,
But
triple
I
crossover.
really think that he'll come back in the last episode to save everything, and Maeve will come back, and they'll totally use that to, like, make Starfire, not Starfire, Starlight seem illegitimate. They'll use that to like, be like,
they gotta reset.
She was trying to take over, and Homelander was a victim because it was his girlfriend once again that was,
they're gonna go Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. I think like she was the abuser, and he was the victim.
Yes, that's.
Oh my god!
I
can totally see him
established
writing
that.
something
We've
like
already
that.
established that with, we already know that Homelander can be manipulated by women because of Nazi, girl.
Yeah.
So, it just happened again. He, in his weakest moment, he looked to a fellow superhero who her whole life was Christian and this and that and the other thing.
And he
but he was
overcorrected.
manipulated once again. And so maybe he'll fall down a few points. But in the end, they'll bring back, they'll bring back his character. They'll bring back Maeve. And Maeve will be like,
that's a
it's all good.
great point. Because Stan Edgar could come back by just outing Congressman Nunes, right? And saying it was a giant conspiracy if they out her for having superpowers. And then on top of that, blowing up all those members in Congress, right? Then Edgar
how about
can
that
come
nose?
back.
How about that nosebleed Starlight had?
Oh yeah, that scene between them was great. I liked how
Nice
Starlight
little warning shot.
Yeah. So she's
Starlight really does
you
have
could tell
stupid
it kind of
powers.
crossed her mind or something.
Yeah, I think Victoria's a great villain. Like she's definitely like afraid for her daughter, but she can still be,
Oh yeah,
intimidating.
what exactly did it do to her daughter?
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
They haven't revealed that.
Yeah,
They
like
haven't
horribly
revealed that
deformed.
yet, and I think that's going to be a great reveal in the next episode or two. But we're going to see like her true like reasoning behind everything. But once again, like this.
Yeah,
points out
Edgar
to
told her to play all sides. She's just trying to talk to everybody.
Great casting all around that
Fantastic.
Amazon has done. Every character is so well cast, and I love it.
Yeah, I think this is like my favorite episode this season. The whole season's just been great. So
Every
this shows
episode's
the
been
gift
a
that keeps
banger.
on giving.
I
I'm
haven't.
really glad it's already been renewed for season 4. We all knew it was. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like Amazon's best show right now. So sorry, Wheel of Time. I know it's a close second, obviously.
Tales from the Loop ain't bad, but it's nowhere near this.
Yeah.
Well, you just
So,
wait until that Lord of the Rings spinoff. The Rings of
I
Power.
mean, yeah, that's getting so much love already online.
Dear Lord,
just an
I don't
abundance of
care
love.
about it. I'm only interested to see what the most expensive TV
I
show
mean,
of all time
I
looks like.
sincerely hope it's like just like low key amazing, or just like I hopefully everyone's like eats crow. Like 'cause obviously we want all these shows. I want every TV show to succeed, unless like it's about. Like,
Oh
Nazis
yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely. But
But like from what I've seen, just my interest is not peaked at all. And I'll still watch the first episode, and if I'm not entertained, I probably won't continue. But it could be good.
At the end of the day, we're all still watching Winter Soldier and the other dude. We're still watching Loki. And sometimes they're hits and sometimes they're misses. But still at the end of the day, I want every show to be good. But
you have my
Disney,
eyes.
Disney,
it's like-
Amazon, Netflix has really pulled out. Like nerdom has come to the forefront, so they're pulling out these great ideas. And unfortunately, sometimes they're great, other times they're just complete shit.
It's like this idea, like people think like people don't like The Last Jedi or the new sequel just because like we just hate new stars. Like we don't hate. We wanted those movies to succeed. We just weren't entertained, and they didn't do anything new. It's not like we're just like pre-programmed to hate stuff. It's
Yeah, we just
like,
want quality.
Either,
We just hate bad stuff.
Either we're entertained or we're not. So it's
Are
not
you
like
not entertained?
yeah, basically yeah.
I was waiting for that movie.
Not this season.
So, but The Boys has been extremely entertaining, and Obi-Wan was, partly
Well, like, let me
entertaining.
ask you
Marvel,
this. There's
more so.
George R. R. Martin made some comments. He is going to be participating in some of the show running for the Jon Snow spinoff series. But do you care? Like, there's like 5 Game of Thrones shows coming out. I don't care about any of them.
So,
Oh no, I never watched the first one.
So I am so mad about how Game of Thrones ended, where I am not going to watch it just because I do not want to participate in that anymore. And this is, I started reading the book in the late 90s, and I remember getting the last book, The Winds of Winter, a month before my daughter was born, and going, I need to finish this as quickly as possible. My daughter will turn 11 here in a few months.
Yeah.
And we have not gotten another book from him because HBO destroyed that series, and he doesn't want to write anymore because he's afraid of disappointing the fans, because
How could he disappoint them? Anything he writes can be better what they came up with.
So but the thing is, I think he's afraid because of how disappointed everybody was that no matter what he does, it's going to disappoint the fans. Even if it is better.
No. It'll inevitably, whatever he writes will be better than what they came up with.
Agreed.
I think
it'll be better, but it can still be bad.
But I'm wondering if HBO is like paying him not to finish because they want their show to. I mean, not like
that
finish
is a conspiracy theory. That is actually a really big conspiracy
but they don't want their
Is
show
it?
to be, They don't.
Like, his books will be printed posthumously once they're done. All the series will be like, oh, his wife and so worked. It probably will be Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, probably because he finished Wheel of Time.
Yep. They found all this stuff and he was able to finish it once HBO's finished.
And let me give some shout out to Robert Jordan here. He wanted to finish that series. He just wound up dying, so he couldn't.
Yeah. He literally wrote the last chapter before he could finish the series and said, finish it for me, but this has to be the last chapter.
Yeah, so but at least Patrick Rothfuss with King Killer Trilogy. It's been 11 years since he finished that, and he's literally on every podcast, going to every convention. He's doing writing. I don't know. He's just doing some other stuff, but literally doing anything but writing his book. And it's just he's like, I'm not your bitch. It's we didn't say you're a bitch, but maybe
here's the issue.
Yeah.
Too, that we're getting in is the fact that shows like The Boys, shows like Game of Thrones, they're taking nerdom and they're kind of destroying it at the same time too, because the people who write this, if they're not finished, they're panicking.
Well, that's the thing. It's they shouldn't do the show anyway unless the series is finished. I think Expanse was finished.
Man, I'm okay with the dilution of pure nerdom if it means we can bring nerdom into the forefront of pop culture, right? If it's no longer uncool.
It doesn't have to be an underground thing.
Yeah, if it's,
we had the same discussion. No, we had the same discussion during Dune. Am I willing to give up a little bit of the true story of Dune if that brings more people to the story? But at the same time, too, that does require us nerds to be like, okay, yeah, that's cool and all, but have you actually looked at the source material? It is so much better.
Yeah, like Halo.
Yeah.
Exactly. That show, I have no desire to watch that show whatsoever. Didn't watch a single episode. But I love...
Well, you're not missing.
Well, you can just listen to our podcast and you don't have
so much hate online.
You don't have to watch any.
But this is why I shouldn't be on, because I think we're at over 90 minutes at this point.
That's good.
It's a longer episode. Yeah, this is probably
But this was great. I'm going to edit out all the jokes I stole, but so that's probably half my dialogue.
I Obi warned you not to steal them.
So we still have 2 more weeks of The Boys, and I think 3 more weeks of Miss Marvel, and we're getting Stranger Things on Friday.
Stranger Things,
but not only that, What We Do in the Shadows is coming back July 12th.
I am halfway through.
Oh, I still need to finish season 3.
I'm halfway through the Umbrella Academy season 3, and it's actually
kind
of good. It's
funny.
It's kind of good.
Sorry,
I need to watch that.
So we might
the
talk
Umbrella
about that.
Academy this season.
What are they streaming on?
No source material.
Netflix.
They've already finished. Yeah, the Umbrella Academy has already finished the comic books.
Yeah, he only wrote
those
12 issues.
First 2 seasons went through all 36 of the issues.
Oh, okay.
There are no more issues for them to reference, so this is all brand new. and I didn't think I would like it, but I'm like 4 episodes in and I like it.
Oh, it gets better. Yeah, I'm not saying anything, but yeah.
Yeah, so I guess Netflix
So maybe we'll
isn't
talk about
quite
that.
dead, but I think Netflix is about to open up ad options for cheaper.
Yeah,
for
$4.99.
cheaper subscription.
They're gonna release a cheaper tier that will have ad options. So kind of like what HBO does.
Or Hulu.
Yeah, or Hulu. Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
have like ads for both.
Or
I think
Paramount.
Sandman's coming out August 5th, as is the Prey movie, the Predator prequel. We'll see how Sandman is. I mean, I think Netflix gave us the Daredevil and show, so I mean maybe this comic adaptation will be good. Umbrella Academy, I think, is well liked. Or are there any other comic book adaptations? Netflix's manga or anime adaptations suck,
Actually, so this isn't a comic book adaptation, but over the weekend I binged the show with my wife called Snowflake Mountain. It's a new reality TV show. It was like top 10 on Netflix over the weekend, so we watched it. And it's a reality TV show, and they take these, like, I think it's like 8, 9, 10, whatever, snowflake, these kids in like their 20s.
They're all snowflakes.
They're massive snowflakes. And I don't like that term. I think it's disrespectful, but I also use the term boomer, so go ahead and we'll use snowflakes.
It's like when people say woke, they kind of trigger that they're
exactly. It's like
Republican.
so I don't like snowflake because, like, people use that term too much, right? Like, there's sometimes I need to talk to the manager. Not every time someone asks for the manager, someone's being a Karen. Sometimes the manager does need to be called, right? But no, these people were genuinely like some of the worst human beings, just spoiled, rotten, terrible, just awful snowflakes. Like, just terrible. Like, as soon as they get out of the car, they're in the woods. As soon as they get in the car, they're trying to figure out the best way to walk so their shoes don't get dirty. And like one of the girls like falls over. Just anyway, complaining the whole time. Like, one of them goes like 20 minutes into, they get tricked. So basically, they're snowflakes. They're spoiled rotten. Their parents spoiled them rotten, and their parents tricked them into applying for this reality TV show. They think they're going like on a luxury reality TV show with like a spa, and it's just like a party city or whatever. And instead, they get dropped down in the middle of the woods with 2 survival ex-Marines. And they like live in like these log cabins, and they learn how to skin a deer and how to make a fire, and they basically like learn it's Boy Scouts for fucking these snowflakes, these 20-year-old spoiled rotten kids.
Wow.
But they grow as people, and it's fun to watch them like mature over like the month that they were there or whatever. And it's also just fun to watch and be like, man, people are shitty. And then it makes you like want to call your mom and thank them.
Yeah. Well, it seems like we all have a lot of content to get through in the next couple of months. But yeah, that's basically our show.
Edit all that out.
Yeah, Major, you want to plug our social
Absolutely,
media?
guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations. I think this is one of our longer episodes, and you made it all the way through. Give yourself a pat on the back, and then give us a like. Even better, give us a 5-star review. If you can even rate it, like, that's fantastic. Tell your friends, word of mouth. I've been reading about this SEO, but really this WOM, this word of mouth, seems to be pretty good for them podcasts I've been hearing about. Anyway, please give us the tweets. I don't know why I slipped in that accent. Tweet at us on Twitter at Zealot Podcasts. Tell us what you're thinking about The Boys. Is this not like just an amazing season of television? Miss Marvel, keep an eye out. Next episode's probably going to be a banger. And then Obi-Wan, sorry to see you go. Maybe I just got an extra hour of my life back. So, I don't know. What do you think? Tweet us. Let us know. That's The Zealot Podcast on Twitter. I've been Major.
I'm Forrest.
I'm Robbie.
And it's Matt once again.
And we'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.